Hello, my name is Harpreet Kaur, and my presentation is on precision and predictive modeling. This is my Teach 1 assignment for my HAP 360 class. The objective is to use data to see if the tested drug is effective, to identify which medication has the highest success rate when a person has an anxiety diagnosis, and also to identify which medication has the highest success rate when a patient has a substance abuse. So question 1. Question 1 asks us to create a table showing the relationship between anxiety diagnosis, the data in the column with the heading Generalized Anxiety Diagnosis, and respond to citalopram, which is the data in the column with the heading of CIT_success. Then we report the success rate of the citalopram among patients with generalized anxiety depression. Before we can start doing anything, first we have to download the data, and the Excel sheet that you see on this slide I got from Blackboard. Next, you need to insert a pivot chart. You do this by clicking Insert, which is on the top left, which is the first arrow. Then right below it, it says Pivot Table. Then you click OK, and a screen like this should appear. After clicking OK, this is the screen that should pop up. From now, we're going to select the range and we're going to enter the rows. Now, if you're looking at this screen where you see the arrow, right above it, you type in Generalized Anxiety Diagnosis. You select and you drag it to the rows section where the arrow is pointing. Now we're going to type in CIT and _success. We're going to select that and drag that to the columns and value sections. You see both the arrows are pointing to each section that you have to drag it to. After adding this, we have to count the success rate. From there, we're going to change the summarized by to count. Now we have to count the success of rate. To calculate the success of rate, we have to take the number of successes, which is 117, and divide it by the grand total, which is 366, to give us a success rate of 0.319. And you can see that is shown on the image below. Now for question 2, you basically do what I just did, but you do it for all of the remaining drugs, and you get the answers that are shown on this slide right here. So it shows the medication and the success rate for each of these medications. The next question is, why is it difficult to understand which medication works for patients with generalized anxiety depression? The answer is because all patients are different and every person has a different reaction to the medication. One medication that works well for one patient may not work well for another, so it's very hard to generalize and say that this one medication will work for all the patients, because it will not. The next question is, which medication has the highest success rate when the patient has a substance abuse? And for this, you use the data in the column with the heading Drug Abuse Diagnosis. In order to calculate this, you refer back to question 2 and repeat the pivot value chart for each of the medications. However, this time you change the row to read Drug Abuse Diagnosis. And on the image to the right, you can see BUP has the highest success rate, and the success rate is 0.375. Thank you for listening to my presentation.